In the Ramakrishna Math Hyderabad, Swamiji has taken the initiative to encourage, recognize and appreciate the leadership qualities amongst the youth by organizing a youth movement called Swami Vivekananda Yuva Jagrati Vedika. As part of the 150th birthday anniversary celebrations of Swami Vivekananda, he has visited 60 engineering colleges, 30 degree and PG colleges, and 15 schools within a year in and around Hyderabad city and set up Swami Vivekananda Centers of Excellence to impact character building education to the youth of the country. I would now like to welcome Swamiji onto the stage to present his address.
Shri Jai Prakash Narayanji, Dilip Reddy Garu, Subba Reddy Garu, Namaste to all the invitees here for this third anniversary celebration of Youth for Seva. At the outset, I offer my thanks, greetings to Shobit, Swati Ram and others for having invited me this evening to spend some time and also witness this wonderful young rural children and the children from backward areas coming up a big way in their life, expressing their talents, showing the potentiality and bringing about a real new thought process amongst the youth. 150th birth anniversary celebrations of Swami Vivekananda are going on all over the country, Kashmir to Kanyakumari and Gujarat to Northeast. And the fragrance of Swami Vivekananda has spread not only in this part of the planet, but also in various parts of the world. You would be happy to know just on Friday, the day before yesterday, the British Parliament has highly commended and lauded the contribution of Swami Vivekananda to world culture. And all the parliamentarians of the Britain government has passed a unanimous resolution that for the next 1 year, all over England universities, the celebration of Swami Vivekananda's message would be carried out without any hesitation. I have linked that particular information in the Facebook, and its circulation already is going on in the internet. That is the silent impact that Swami Vivekananda has made in the recent past. But the period that he has worked was only for 9 years. As many of you know, his main mission started on September 11th, 1893, and 1902, July 4th, the man has gone, leaving a legacy, a new thought process for the country. But before going abroad, before accepting the resolution, accepting the invitation by the local people of Madras and the Maharaja of Khetri, Swami Vivekananda traveling through the length and breadth of the country, wanting to know the first-hand information of what the country is, wanting to know what exactly India is made of, not what is given in the books of the British Raj. Being a student of the Scottish Church College, he was not happy with that information that has been given. But here is that young man, a young monk, starting his journey from Himalayas down to Kanyakumari. And the culmination of his vision and the action plan that he wanted to revive India and rebuild India took place at that important rock which today is called the Vivekananda Rock at Kanyakumari. As Dr. J.P. rightly put it, it is not the higher realization that Swamiji expected. It is not the castles and the Taj Mahals that we have to build to rebuild India. But Swami Vivekananda, for 3 days and 3 nights, a sannyasi for all practical purposes, renouncing his earth and home in the name of God, trying to remain immersed in meditation 24 hours, but provided the required inspiration and support from his Guru Sri Ramakrishna. No, my dear child, your very bones will do work for this great nation. I do not want you to remain in meditation. But that unknown monk, while traveling through the length and breadth of the country, as Dr. J.P. was telling out, bringing a new revolution in the thought process of the Maharajas, whether it's the Maharaja of Khetri or the Maharaja of Mysore, Whether it's the Princess of Travancore or whether it is the Nizam of Hyderabad. As some of you may know, may not know, Swamiji came on February 13th, 1893 to Hyderabad, stayed here for 5 days, gave his first public lecture in his life in Mehboob College on the invitation of the Nizam of the time on his mission to the West. Why he was to go to the West? That Nizam was stunned to silence to understand what in this great part of the country such a person with so much of knowledge and brilliance exists. Full half a day on 15th of February 1893, Nizam spent a lot of time in discussion with Swami Vivekananda, an unknown monk, and said, Swami, I a Musalman, if somebody calls you a god, see that I, the first man, is to call you so, and any help that you want for rebuilding India, I am ready to give it to you. Swamiji did not accept that. He said, a time will come, if necessary I will take it. And he walked from here to Mehboob College, spoke there, went back to Madras, and somebody asked Swami Vivekananda, what did you do in Hyderabad? Swamiji beautifully and humorously said, brother, I tested my oratorical skills in Mehboob College. If Hyderabad people accept Vivekananda, Chicago had to accept. Wherever he went, he left a lasting impression, but he was not satisfied seeing the basic poverty and the basic negligence of the women and of the masses. 3 days and 3 nights, 3 రాత్రులు 3 రోజులు, ఒక మెతుకు లేకుండా, పాలు లేకుండా, అన్నం లేకుండా ఆ బండరాయి మీద ధ్యానం చేస్తున్నాడు యువ సన్యాసి 28 సంవత్సరాలు. దేని మీద ధ్యానం చేశాడు? నాటనని మతం, నాటనని ధర్మం, నాటనని మంత్రం, నాటనని తంత్రం. In his own words he writes, I meditated on INDIA, India was my God. For the next 50 years, let Mother India be our God. And today that Mother India, even after, as Dr. JP said, even after 115 years of Swamiji's birth, Advent and his birth celebration, that Mother India is bleeding from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. He said, let us keep aside all other gods. And he writes a beautiful letter. I request all the volunteers and members here, read that letter of Vivekananda after his meditation at Kanyakumari. The action plan that he has given and how the Youth for Seva came out, reading that article, reading that letter, which he writes, brother, sitting on the last bit of Mother India's rock, I hit upon a plan. That plan is to organize a band of workers and to send them like irresistible waves all through the country, through the length and breadth of the country, to wipe the widow's tears, to feed the orphan's mouth, and even till a dog is without food, I shall come back again and again and see that Mother India is sitting on her right royal throne of strength and inspiration and Jagat Guru. A beautiful letter of nearly 3 pages giving all his heart plan to his brother disciples. My dear young friends and other volunteers of Youth for Seva and others who have assembled here, Swami Vivekananda, coming back from America, 4 years of luxury, giving the best of his messages there, India was not yet ready. నిద్రపోతున్న ఈ దేశాన్ని మేలుకొల్పడానికి ఎంత ప్రయత్నించారు వివేకానంద. అమెరికాకి వెళ్లే ముందు ఆయన గురించి ఎవరికి పట్టించుకోలేదు, కొంతమంది మహారాజులు తప్ప, కొంతమంది వ్యక్తులు తప్ప. అయితే ఎప్పుడైతే చికాగో పార్లమెంట్లో పేరు పొందారో స్వామి వివేకానందుల వారు, ఇండియా అంత జాగృతమైంది. అప్పుడు ఒక సోదరి, వివేకానంద శిష్యురాలు జోసెఫైన్ మ్యాక్లౌడ్, తను స్వయంగా స్వామీజీ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి అడుగుతుంది, Swamiji, you gave us so much, the best of your life, 4 years message, all the yogas, all the meditation, all the Vedanta you've given us, what I can do for you. She was a daughter of a multi-millionaire Mr. MacLeod of New York. Josephine MacLeod's beautiful question, what I can do for you. She expected Vivekananda will give a big list of gadgets or money and things like that. Nothing of that sort. దయచేసి జాగ్రత్తగా వినండి. వివేకానంద అంటారు, సిస్టర్, ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు డూ సంథింగ్ ఫర్ మీ, లవ్ ఇండియా అంటారు వివేకానంద. పెద్ద కోరికలు పెట్టి లిస్ట్ ఇవ్వలేదు ఎవరికి, లవ్ ఇండియా అంటారు. అదే మాట జోసెఫైన్ మ్యాక్లౌడ్ సుమారు 57 సంవత్సరాలు వరకు బతికింది. 1955లో మరణించింది ఆవిడ. ఎన్ని విషయాలు ఇండియా గురించి, ఎన్ని త్యాగం చేసింది భారతదేశం గురించి. బికాస్ ద కింగ్ వాజ్ వివేకానంద, ద కింగ్డమ్ వాజ్ ఇండియా. వాట్ ఎవర్ దిస్ కింగ్ వాంటెడ్, షీ వాజ్ రెడీ టు గివ్. What an amount of sacrifice. Always she used to carry thousands of dollars in her purse at that time. Pre-independence days. Somebody asked, Joe, why are you carrying so much money? People will harm you. She says, no. When the king wants money, when the poor man wants money, when his kingdom is crying, how can I live in luxury? This money will go to the people of this nation. Swamiji inspired a galaxy of people to sacrifice their life for the nation. Just like Dilip Reddy Garu is speaking out, the need for a real education, and also combined with Dr. JP's idea of basic fundamental education. If a Babar Ali, a young boy, he is today considered the world's youngest headmaster. How did we know that Babar Ali exists in India? Because BBC broadcasted his life story. We are still in the British Raj. If BBC says, then there must be some great man in India. BBC said, you fools, yes, a great world's youngest headmaster at the age of 17 is there in Bhapta village in Murshidabad district. A young Muslim boy, inspired by the teachings of Swami Vivekananda, started a primary school with 8 girls when he was 9 years old. His mother said, Babar, ye sab kyun kar rahe ho? Tum acha padho, tum collector banao. Babar said, mother, have you not read Vivekananda? India needs education. India needs education, education, education. This will be my seva for this India. His father, a tailor in Bhapta village, said, Babar, एक स्कूल से काम नहीं चलेगा, पूरा भारतवर्ष में schools लगाओ, अल्लाह का मर्जी, अल्लाह का आशीर्वाद तुम्हारा पास रहेगा. What a mighty fellow. Today he has got 1,000 children in a wonderful school which is 24 hours AC because there are no compound wall, there is no building at all. His house Maidan is the school, Ananda Vidya Niketan. World's youngest headmaster. Morning Babar is a student in BA first year honors. Afternoon 2:30 to 7 he is a headmaster. And who are the teachers? His own classmates. Inspired by Swami Vivekananda. Where is Bhakta? Where is Babar? Where is Swami Vivekananda? How the networking goes on in this Brahmanda, in this cosmos. I remember a incident of one vegetable seller. His name is Mr. Selvam in Tirunelveli town in Tamil Nadu. Somebody like you came to purchase a potatoes and some onions from Selvam. And he asked Selvam garu, ningal padikringla? Selvam said, yes sir, I read up to 8th standard, I can read little Tamil. Immediately in the pocket he gave Swami Vivekananda's Tamil book. Selvam ji started reading, his life is transformed. Next day morning he comes to the shop, purchasing a whiteboard with a marker. Randomly takes his Vivekananda's teachings and writes it on the whiteboard, does namaskaram to it, does offers flowers to it, then opens the shop. If any customer comes to purchase potato and onion, he says, can you read a little? Yes, I can read. We are all educated people. He says, read the teachings of Vivekananda. It will do you good in your life because it has done good to me. And this man is doing this seva last 10 years every day. He says, I have not seen Vivekananda, but let people of Tirunelveli understand what this man stands for. And from the business point of view, this Selvam's profit of vegetables is increasing 40% per annum. And with that money, he has educated his son, he has got married his daughter, and he is leading a wonderful, peaceful life, and more customers to him because he does not mismanage the weights. Where is Selvam? Where is Swami Vivekananda? Like that, there are so many people, but last point I would just like to tell. For these 3 hours, reading, writing and arithmetic, which the engineering colleges and the medical colleges and so many things are pumping, where is that antivirus system for the mind? Where is the antivirus system for the mind? JNTU, 26 varieties of topics are there, but I told the Vice Chancellor Rameshwara Garu, there is no topic called mind engineering. That is why somebody told me yesterday in one engineering college that they have introduced human values and ethics from 2013 batch for the first time in JNTU, but GTU has taken up 40 hours compulsory syllabus of Swami Vivekananda's ethics and values by Narendra Modi government long back. The concept of triple H formula, which exactly this, Youth for Seva is carrying on, which I shall just present in 2 minutes and end my presentation. Triple H formalized the antivirus system for today's youth and today's circumstances. The first H, Swamiji says, develop your head, does not mean a swollen head or arrogant head, develop your thinking capability. Basically, J.P. Garu was telling about the basic creativity in the students, how the education can become interesting, original, and something special for the students to make a difference. Because what the colleges are teaching, there is no interconnection between the industry and the college today. Swamiji wanted that first kind of education where the ideas can merge with the nature. That is why he inspired Jamshedji Narsarunji Tata to start the Tata Institute, or today what is called IISc, Indian Institute of Science, where the science and spirituality will blend, shake hands together, and the youth of India will get a wonderful lessons from nature itself. Original thinkers we should become. Second is that positive attitude which J.P. Garu was nicely pointing it out. Enough of this negativity, ashraddha, cynical attitude, criticizing everything that is ancient or Indian or culture. That is eating the vitals of our people. Half glass of water, somebody is telling half empty, somebody is telling half full. But Swami Vivekananda would tell, brothers, don't waste your time half full or half empty, bring in water and fill it up. Have a full glass of water, brother. You are full, don't be a fool. Purnamadaha Purnamidam, says the Rig Veda. That is full and it is full. Why are you barking over these half bits of pieces? And the second H, which Vande Mataram Foundation is trying to work it out, Youth for Seva is working it out. Swamiji's main call was that, do you feel 700 million mobile phones in India, but 70% women have no toilets in the villages of India, and the Supreme Court has to tell the government to build toilets first? We are working with Vande Mataram Foundation, trying to educate 550 girls. One interview video is there. One girl who was married when she was dropped out in 10th standard, and her husband died after drinking liquor, etc. When she gave birth to a child after 1 month baby. Where will that baby go now? Where will she go now? She was not able to express. She was kicked out by the in-laws. So that girl is given that 550 rupees per month to give some tuition to in the evenings 5:30 to 7:30. Do you feel there is a girl a 2-month baby in cancer hospital whose left eye had a tumor, and an inexperienced doctor in some village removed the left eye, and the cancer has spread to the bones of that baby. Our students go and serve that cancer hospital occasionally in Lakdikapur. And during that, the doctors, junior doctors agitation in Gandhi Hospital and other places, I know of one of our devotees who is working in Uppal Destitute Home, who got so many awards through Sakshi and other papers, and CEN and IBN gave him an award of Positive India Award. One lady who had to be amputated, whose leg had to be amputated, senior doctors gave a particular date for her to go and get her leg amputated, and she was thrown out by her own children. Gangrene, pus, bad smell, oozing, and she could not bear that pain. Particular day he goes, unfortunately strike is going on in Gandhi Hospital. Junior doctors are protesting, basic emergency, this one was stopped. But this man, no stretcher was available. He is carrying that blood-oozing leg of that lady and carrying that lady to the second floor operation theatre. Suddenly from somewhere, 10 junior doctors, girls and boys came and stopped the way. We will not permit, take her back. Is this the India which Mahatma Gandhi wanted? Is this the India which Vivekananda wanted, or Abdul Kalam wanted, or any other person we are crying for? Cannot this government or something quickly stop this agitation or solve the problem of the stipend cases? Poor man spent 500 rupees from Uppal to come to Gandhi Hospital, again 500 rupees from Uppal to Gandhi to Uppal, and another 4 days, that lady crying in pain, nearly 70 years old, sitting in pain, not able to sit at all. If she goes inside, other destitute patients are getting the infection. She was made to sleep in the hot sun in the veranda for 4 days till the strike was subsided. What India we are talking about, what puja punaskara we are talking about, what seva we are talking about. Do I have a heart? This was the burning cry of Swami Vivekananda. One day Swami Vivekananda was traveling by train somewhere in Rajasthan, and he saw one Muslim fakir entering inside selling groundnuts. Nobody was purchasing. ఆయన మొక్కను చిన్నదవుతూ ఉండేది, ఎవరో కొనుక్కోవట్లేదు, ఏర్సనపప్పు. అప్పుడు స్వామి వివేకానంద తన పక్కన శిష్యుడికి ₹1 ఇచ్చి ఏడ్సనపప్పు కొనుక్కోవయ్యా అంటే శిష్యుడు అన్నాడు, స్వామీజీ మీరు తినకూడదు కదా, డాక్టర్స్ వద్దన్నారు కదా అంటే, చెప్తున్నాను తీసుకో ఫస్ట్ ₹1 ఇచ్చి. ₹1 ఇచ్చాడు. ఆ కాలం ₹1 ఇప్పుడు ₹100. ఎంతో బిగ్ క్వాంటిటీ వేరుశనగపప్పు ఇచ్చాడు. వెంటనే స్వామీజీ ప్యాకెట్లు ఓపెన్ చేసి అందరికీ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ చేస్తున్నాడు. శిష్యుడు అడిగాడు, స్వామి మీరు ఒక్కటి కూడా తినలేదు, అందరికీ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ చేశారు, ఎందుకు కొనుక్కున్నారు ₹1 అంటే, నాట్ దట్ ఐ షుడ్ ఈట్, వెన్ ఐ గేవ్ యూ దట్ ₹1, డిడ్ యూ సీ ద స్మైల్ ఆన్ ద మ్యాన్స్ ఫేస్, ఫర్ దట్ ఐ గేవ్ హిమ్ ₹1, నాట్ దట్ ఐ షుడ్ ఈట్. Swamiji used to sing a beautiful song of 17th century poet, a Hindi song. He liked this song very much, which is exactly for Seva. चेतन देव की सेवा करो, जन्म सफल हो जाए, प्रेम पुष्प से पूजन कीजे, मन दीपक कर ध्यान विचारो, घट घट पूर्ण एक निरंजन, द्वैत भाव सब दूर निवारो, हृदय अंदर मंदिर माही, जगमग ज्योत जगे उजियारो, चेतन देव की सेवा करो, जन्म सफल हो जाए. What a wonderful idea Swami Vivekananda broadcasted. Who are you to help somebody? ఎవరయ్యా నీకు అధికారం ఇచ్చింది? రామకృష్ణ దగ్గర వివేకానంద నేర్చుకున్నారు. అప్పుడు వరకు నరేంద్రుడు ఐ వాంటెడ్ టు షో దయా దయా దయా, పబ్లిక్కి దయ చూపించాలి, పేదవారికి దయ చూపించాలి అనే నరేంద్రుడు ఆయన మనసులో టర్నింగ్ పాయింట్ వచ్చింది. నువ్వెవరయ్యా దయ చూపించింది? యూ క్యాన్ డూ ఓన్లీ సేవా, నాట్ దయా. Be blessed that man is allowing you to open up your hand and give something to the poor people. Don't stand at high pedestal and throw ₹5 and say, hey poor man, take this. Swamiji changed the thought process of Rockefeller. If today Rockefeller Foundation is helping millions of people in scholarships and made 11 Nobel Prize laureates, it is because of the brain process, thought process which Swami Vivekananda changed. Rockefeller so arrogant, so proud. He came to Swami Vivekananda because people were telling he is a great man from India, let me go and meet him. Rockefeller goes unannounced. Vivekananda doesn't even offer him a chair. Rockefeller getting angry. Swamiji says, my dear brother, what you own is not yours. You are only a trustee, not a owner of your property. Do something for the poor people. Rockefeller, somebody advising Rockefeller, it was too much for him to bear. But Vivekananda's injection, the seed was working in the subconscious mind. Next day morning he comes and throws a $10,000 check on the face of Swami Vivekananda and says, Swami, you have to thank me for this. Swamiji took that check, put it into his pocket and said, brother, you have to thank me for receiving it. If I have not received, who are you to give? Rockefeller ego was broken and he started the Rockefeller Foundation. So that second H is more important. We have had to think in India, no problem of youth power, no problem of money power, no problem of population power, no problem of resources. What is required is that heart power. The second H has to be kept burning, which Youth for Seva, Swati Ram and Shobit and all other volunteers are doing great Seva. Do it as that great yagna. Yagna is social transformation. Yoga is personal transformation. Like 2 wings of a bird. If that goes on, character in the whole nation will become a Jagat Guru. Learn from the Japanese, the feeling of the nationhood. I remember somebody telling me, we have a center in Tokyo. The Swami was telling us when there was a tsunami, when there was the earthquake, when there was a nuclear reactor blast, Japanese did not take $1 loan from the West. They know if they take from America, everything America will take care of. There was a journalist from Thailand who went to Japan to take the photographs of the devastation, put it in the Thailand newspapers. A very interesting story, interesting incident. He said there was a big queue of nearly 400 people waiting for food. Helicopters coming every 3 hours and dropping food and going. He got the food packet, but there were 400 people. And he saw one 9-year-old boy waiting for food. And this man, a journalist from Thailand, photographer come a reporter, he saw there were only 20 packets in the box. Then he saw this boy was standing 25th. He will not get the food packet. Otherwise he has to wait another 3 hours. He called the boy outside, gave him that food packet and said, my son, you eat, drink water and go. Otherwise you will starve. The boy took the food packet. A very interesting thing happened. He quickly ran in front of the counter where the volunteers were distributing the food packet. And ఏం చేశాడు తెలుసా, వాళ్ళతో జపనీస్లో మాట్లాడాట, ఇతను చూస్తూ ఉన్నాడు, చూస్తూ ఆ ఫుడ్ ప్యాకెట్ని మళ్ళా ఆ బాక్స్లో వేసేసి లైన్లో నిల్చున్నాడంట. ఇతను కొంచెం కోపం వచ్చింది, కొంచెం ఆశ్చర్యం అయింది జర్నలిస్ట్కి. అబ్బాయిని పట్టుకొని మళ్ళా మందలించి అడిగాడంట, ఎందుకు నీకు ఇస్తే మళ్ళా ఫుడ్ ప్యాకెట్ బాక్స్లో వేసేసావంటే, Sir, you gave me the food packet, all right, but do you know what my mother told? If I eat at the cost of others, I'll be eating sin. I will wait till my turn comes. What a lesson, what a lesson, what a lesson of that 9-year-old boy telling what kind of balance or what kind of national contribution we have to make. And this man took the photograph of that boy and said, hero of Japan. He put it in Thailand newspapers. So Swamiji's message, irrespective of your background, irrespective of your career, status in life, should percolate into every nook and corner through education institutions. Through this one, we have been going and setting centers of human excellence to train up these band of workers as visualized by Swami Vivekananda. And I am sure and hope Youth for Seva and so many other beautiful groups are there. All these wonderful people are there who are highly educated. But at the same time, when the heart to feel, and the third head Swamiji said, with J.P. Garu as beautifully pointing it out, head to think, heart to feel, hands to work. If you combine these three with our education, India will become gold once again, and we can lead India from the front and make the vision of Swami Vivekananda high class. My best wishes to Shobhit and others, Youth for Seva volunteers, rise from status to status and reach the stars to make India great once again. May Vivekananda bless you all. Thank you. Namaste.